Most people's game of the year usually goes to whichever open world RPG has the best ray tracing and water physics. And of course you gotta make sure to compare it to a game from 15 years ago for, well, seemingly no actual reason. My game of the year usually goes to something much more underrated than whatever usually wins. In 2024, I would have picked Balatro, and in 2025, I probably would have picked Silksong. But let's just be brutally honest, if Garfield Kart had came out in any given year, that would have been a full sweep. I mean, it wouldn't have even been close. Garfield Kart is easily the best cat-based game of all time. Until now. I understand that we're merely weeks into 2026, and this might sound way too early to say something so boldly like this, but unless something crazy happens and something shadow drops that completely blows my mind, Mewgenics is already my game of the year for 2026. Now, crazy things can happen, right? Some insane masterpiece of a game that no one's ever heard of can definitely just shadow drop at any time this year, kind of like most indie classics do, but hear me out, I haven't been able to physically put down Mewgenics since it came out. This game was first announced back in 2012 by Edmund the same guy who made The Binding of Isaac, Super Meat Boy, The End is Nigh, and so many other amazing indie titles. But the thing is, this game was cancelled soon after in 2014 so that Edmund could work on The Legend of Bumbo, then later reacquired back in 2018 and brought back from the grave to be worked on by Edmund and Tyler Glale. So as you can tell, this game has sent all of its fans, including me, through an absolute roller coaster of emotions. Honestly, it feels like a privilege to even get our hands on this game after all that time, and I was very scared and skeptical that the game wouldn't live up to the hype that it's gained, but ever since I got my grubby little hands on this game, it has fully sucked me in with its charm, and with everything from the humor to combat, the items, or even the clearly gay man who has a wife. Pink is hilarious. He might actually be my favorite character. What I'm trying to say is, this game is an absolute chaotic mess, and it's so overwhelmingly unique that it feels kind of risky and it feels like it shouldn't work as a game, but it absolutely does. Beautifully. I have over 800 hours in The Binding of Isaac. Now that I've properly jump scared you with how much of a nerd I am, I'm mentioning this because after all that time on an Edmund game, I know a thing or two about just how chaotic he is as a game dev. To characterize the way that Edmund makes a video game, let's take a look at an alignment chart. You know, the one that tells you exactly how moral and ethical a character is in Dungeons and Dragons? If I were to put Mr. McMillan on a scale after playing his games, he goes all the way down here. Chaotic evil. Every time you're curious about what will happen next in Mewgenics, you just have to ask yourself what the most chaotic evil option is, and that's what it's going to be. My friend had an ability that pushes a gust of air across the battlefield, and he inquired, will this gust of air put out this fire, or do you think it will spread the fire? Now let me ask you the same thing, class. Knowing what I said about Edmund, do you think a gust of air will A, put out the fire, B, spread the fire, or C, do absolutely nothing? Now, if you answered B, you're 100% correct, because the most chaotic thing that could possibly happen is that it just spreads the fire, obviously, and that's just surface level chaos that can happen in Mewgenics. Another example is that there are daddy sharks that can eat your character, and if you've ever played another turn-based game, you're probably thinking, it's not the end of the world, he'll probably just spit my guy back out in a few turns, I'm not even too worried about this. Pay attention! Because what obviously happens here is the most insane thing you could possibly think of. The shark just insta-kills your character if it's within one tile of it. Permanently. Yeah, it's totally fair and balanced, of course. The reason that I claim that Mewgenics feels like a game that shouldn't work, yet it does, is because many gamers, much like myself, are kind of noobs at turn-based games. I swear the term turn-based is like Voldemort to the vast majority of gamers, in the sense that they absolutely refuse, no matter what, to play a turn-based game. It doesn't matter if it's the most entertaining, fast-paced, incredible feeling turn-based game with interactive parrying mechanics like Expedition 33, or if it's more of a strategy and grid-based game like Into the Breach or Mewgenics. Gamers seem to eat around these games like a child eating around everything else besides their vegetables. And hey, I'm not trying to be judgmental towards these people who hate turn-based, because it's completely fine if you don't. I mean, I used to be the exact same way until I tried Expedition 33 and fell in love with it, but besides that, I was always going to try Mewgenics because it just personally speaks to me. Along with that, this game is also very crude and definitely not for people who don't understand Edmund's wacky-ass humor. This game involves anything from cats constantly humping and creating babies, all the way to the typical abominations that come with Edmund games, I guess. I mean, what the hell is this thing? A fetus gusher? A lot of normies would look at something like this and just recoil in disgust. but not us autistic freaky ass weirdos who love indie games. We're definitely built different. I mean, dude, this game is literally all about genetically curating a cat army and taking those cute little innocent kittens out onto the battlefield to absolutely rule the disgusting and scary world. And obviously this game wasn't meant for everyone besides absolute psychopaths like myself. On top of all that, this game is definitely going to be wildly overwhelming for most people playing it, including myself sometimes, but I see that as a good thing because this game is completely packed top to bottom with infinite content. But I could see how this could be a turnoff for a lot of people. I mean, imagine being a Minecraft fan who's used to Mojang, updating the game once a year to add one singular mob and some armor trims or something. I'd be afraid of new content too if that was my hill to die on. By the way, I'm just joking, Minecraft fans. I love the game too, but you have to admit, getting mad at a game for having too much content like Hytale is really silly. I see people complaining about that all the time online for no reason. Like, oh no, my lobster is too buttery and my steak is too juicy. I really never understood the too much content complaint. It just makes no sense. I want you to imagine one of those cartoonish box traps that have a stick holding half the box up, and inside the box there's a little nugget of pure 100% nostalgia. And I'm the stupid little critter that's falling for the trap. Yeah, that's like the dumbest way I could have explained that this game feels nostalgic. Mewgenics feels like one of those weird games that you'd see on like a clearance rack at a GameStop in 2006, but when you get home and you put it in the PS2, it quickly turns into your favorite game that you have, so you sadly have to delete your Lego Star Wars save to make room for it on your memory card, but it's totally worth it anyway. But it seriously feels like a fever dream in the best way possible, and this game is going to totally take over my life. I'm also completely blown away at the instant success of this game. Despite it being so weird and unique, actually at the exact moment I'm recording this, the game just hit a peak player count of over 84,000 concurrent players on Steam on the day after launch, which is far and beyond what I ever expected for this game. This is even more insane because The Binding of Isaac has only hit 70,000 concurrent players max back in 2021. I guess it's safe to say that this game is going to somehow become even bigger and more popular than The Binding of Isaac, and it already has a cult-like following. Okay, I think it's time for a bit of honesty. I really only made this video because I haven't been doing anything besides playing and thinking about Mewgenics in my entire free time the last couple of days, so I decided to make a video about it because I didn't really want to make a video about anything else right now. Either way, I hope you guys found this rant to be entertaining because Mewgenics is going to be absolutely massive. And you know what else is massive? My favorite comment from last video. Hope you guys have a great day and make sure to pet your cat for me one time. Alright, I'm going to play Mewgenics now. Bye bye!
All I've got is rats to eat.